What's going on, guys? This is Chris Weidman. I appreciate you guys checking out my channel and the latest episode of my podcast, Won't Back Down. I have a great show planned for today, but before we begin, I want to tell you about my show's presenting sponsor, BioAccelerator. BioAccelerator is the world leader in stem cell therapy and regenerative medical research. Through the use of their powerful golden stem cells, they help patients heal from joint and orthopedic injuries, autoimmune disorders, spine and disc damage, and neurological trauma. I went down to Medellin, Colombia, and I got my stem cells, and honestly, I feel great. My leg is improving every single day, and it takes about 6 months to get full effect from the stem cells, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the future. Thanks again to BioAccelerator for helping sponsor this show and create my show, Won't Back Down, which is also available on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Are you nervous, bro? You nervous to be on the podcast?
Yeah, super. Never once listened to it. Is that bad?
I mean, that's the dick thing to say.
Why?
Nice. Because
wouldn't you rather me be honest?
Huh?
Isn't that what friendship is honesty?
Yeah, but you got to put an effort towards our friendship, and it doesn't seem like you're putting effort towards the things that matter to me.
You don't deal with friends. It takes effort to be friends with you. That's enough effort right there.
What? And what effort does it take to be friends with me? All you have to do is listen to my podcast.
I have to listen to your constant rants in person. Do I got to listen to it on my free time now?
I'm the easiest friend to be a friend with. Are you kidding me?
Oh, hold on, let me shut this door. Are we going or not?
We're going right now, bro. You're leaving the podcast. We just started.
Oh man. All right, I'm back.
Bro, why are you such a pain in the ass? Why is it out of everybody I've ever had on this podcast, you were the hardest to get on? Explain that to me.
I'm the most popular, I guess. I'm the biggest. I've definitely had, isn't it something about like injuries or something? That's what the thing is. I've definitely had more injuries than anyone on your thing. I don't know who you've had. But
you think so?
I've got some pretty bad ones. What else? Is that all it is? Is coming back from injuries?
No, it's not. You are the
That's
worst.
what the idea of this podcast is, right? I don't know what it is.
The beginning of this podcast, it was centralized on the concept of like goal-oriented people that have faced adversity, overcame that adversity, and came out on top. So like just
so nothing to do with injuries?
No, and injuries could be. Injuries is a big part of it because I had Anderson Silva on as my first podcast. I tried to get Alex Smith on because we had similar terrible injuries. But like injuries is definitely a part of it. That's something we could talk about. But we could also just bullshit and talk. But
I don't really. Yeah, I never really like miss time because of an injury. I'm tough. I don't let little bones come out of my leg and cry about it like a little baby. You know what I mean? Bones come out of my leg, I'm good to go.
All right. Well, since you want to talk about injuries, go ahead. What kind of injuries have you had
good.
and pushed through? How'd you push through? You did. All right. How long did you have a torn ACL and kept fighting for?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
two torn ACLs, not one. Two
torn ACLs.
For probably 6-7 years now, I guess.
Wow, this is crazy.
Maybe a little bit less. Maybe 5-6 years, something like that.
So you're fighting.
And you know what I just found out too? I didn't tell you this one. So you'll like so I'm having trouble picking up Luca for I don't know, past 6 months. I don't know why, but to bicep curl him, I'm having trouble. So I'm thinking I'd probably tore something in my bicep, blah blah blah. So I go get it checked out after the fight, and I go and I see Levitz, and he's like, "No, you got to go."
Dr. Levitz.
Dr. Levitz, you got to go get your. Let's MRI your shoulder and see if it's coming from. I'm like, dude, I don't think it's coming from my shoulder. It's my bicep. He's like, let's MRI your shoulder. I'm like, all right, so I trust him or whatever, and I go there, and I have a torn labrum in my shoulder.
Really?
I had no idea. Yeah.
When do you
Makes
think
no
that
sense.
happened?
I just have a little bicep pain, but I can still pick my arms up and. Right? I thought torn labrum means you can't pick your arm up.
I don't know, because the only time I tore my labrum was because of you. Bro.
We're not going to talk about that.
No, we could talk about that too.
We're allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, everything's allowed on the Won't Back Down show.
That's you. So you tore your own labrum. Can you talk about the Won't Back Down when you tore your own labrum?
Wait. So what's going on with your labrum? Is it what can't you do now?
No, it's fun. I just couldn't pick up Luca really. Like I can't bicep curl really. Like to pick him up like this way. You know what I mean?
I bet.
I can't
So
really
only
do that.
Luke is the only thing that you can't pick up.
No, well, that's what I gave it. About. Otherwise, what the fuck do I really care?
But I
But I
heard you're
had it for
wrestling. You're
like
wrestling and
probably
stuff with
like
the guys. I heard, right? The guys on the state team you're
yeah,
wrestling
yeah,
with.
but it's not like they're high school kids. If I can't beat high school kids, then I'm in a lot of trouble. I
I heard.
mean,
I talked to Tyshawn, the new athletic director over at
oh
Carl
my
Place. He's big
god.
time. He said he was watching. And he goes, man, he has to learn to let these kids tire themselves out first. You know, he was jumping in there too early.
Yeah, well, that I'll give him. Why I even went in there, it was state practice, and I started drilling. I've never drilled. How long do we wrestle? We never drilled. So like, I just drilled with the kid because he didn't have a partner. So I'm drilling with him, drilling. And I'm like, man, this sucks because then I'm actually letting him take me down, and that's the part that hurts the most. Is
Well,
like
your
getting
big ass
back
has
up.
to keep getting back up again.
Yeah, it's that. Well, getting back up, and knees, bending the wrong way, and it
Yeah.
isn't fun. So that kind of sucked, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't have to shoot or anything. When I wrestle live, all I do is step guys down, front headlock, and that's it, really. So if I can't do that, then I'm in trouble. But
I
I
mean,
can do all that.
I kind of do the same thing. I feel like,
Yeah, you're not really. How much you shooting? I mean, you were a low single guy, but
yeah.
you do the shuck. What you do is the shuck. It's the one thing you do. It's
They
your
call
one
it
move.
the shrug. It's
What
a
is
shrug.
that? The shrug or
The shrug.
this
Shrug.
thing?
Yeah. You shuck a clam. You
I
shuck
thought it's a
clams. You shuck
shuck.
oysters. You shrug. You shrug people by.
You don't shuck people by.
No. Stop
Is
doing that
that
movement.
something? Where have I heard
It's the
shuck
shrug.
before? But some people call it shuck. Am I right?
I've heard shuck before, but
All right.
shucks.
Shucks.
Shucks. Oh, yeah. Well, we could talk about when you tore my labrum, and
I
I
thought you
guess I
didn't
ended
want to
up.
talk about it. You changed the subject
No,
pretty
I changed the
quick.
subject, but
So
I figured we would come back onto it. I wasn't going to forget.
it's all
You
right.
want to tell that story, or you want me to tell it?
No, I don't know how deep and involved you want to get, so I'll let you tell the story, and
So
then I'll let
I
you
was
blame yourself.
so this is before I'm fighting Anderson Silva for the first time, and
But yeah, you could mention how I got you the title shot. This was not before
yeah,
Anderson
I
Silva. This
figured you
was
liked that.
before Tim Bosch, first of all.
Yeah,
So I actually got you the title shot. So really tell the story right if you're going to tell the
I
story.
was going to
You
give you
already
credit.
you started it off wrong. You said this is the first time before I'm supposed to fight Anderson Silva. No, you were supposed to fight Tim Bosch, and you pulled out a Tim
Bro,
Bosch fight.
I'm referencing to the Anderson
So you're
Silva
wrong.
fight so people could
Tell the story
understand.
right.
Okay.
You know what?
I was
thought you did
supposed
this
to I was
podcast
supposed to
legit.
fight Tim Boach. My house just got hit by Hurricane Sandy, so I was living in my parents' house, and Long Island was a mess. So we ended up going to Arizona to train before my Tim Boach fight, and Villante came with me. I don't know if you were getting ready for a fight at the same time or not, or just coming to hang out and like help me train.
Yeah.
But we were training with all the guys over in Arizona, and they had a basketball court it was a sick gym. They had a basketball court in the MMA gym, Arizona Combat Sports, was it called? Is that the name of the gym?
I think it was it Power? I think it was Power.
Oh, Power. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Power.
Yeah.
It was Power MMA in Arizona. And so they had a basketball court, and I'm the best athlete when it comes to playing basketball, and like out of all the fighters by far, you have to admit. So we're playing basketball, and Villante's
This is the prelude to why he tore his shoulder is because he thinks that.
So Villante's got the ball, and he starts like dribbling like a 2-year-old to the basket, and I go to like jump up and block him, and he literally just ducks and hip checks me, and so I fly over his body. I land directly on my shoulder, and my shoulder shot right away. I'm like, holy crap, my shoulder! I've never felt this before. Couldn't move my arm. Fast forward, I got an MRI, tore my labrum, tore my rotator cuff, but we couldn't tell the UFC that it happened during basketball, so we said it happened like wrestling.
You're gonna get fired now, aren't you? Still an employee?
It's like 2000. Isn't there like a
I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on.
Look
you
at you
fired.
with all these legality words. Like that's super smart of you. There you
go. He tried charging at me as I'm going up for a layup. And what am I going to do? Go up for a layup and get destroyed? No, this guy is ridiculously running with his floppy feet. You got to hear how loud he runs. No athleticism to him at all. His feet point in two different directions when he runs. This is how he runs. This is his feet. They look like this. So when he running like this and he goes to jump up and block my shot, obviously I'm not going to jump up, so I kind of shy away, and he goes. I didn't duck down. He flew over a guy 6'3". I'm telling you, he jumped over me to my point where his feet hit
So
my
I could
shoulders,
jump
and he
high.
flew.
You're saying I could jump high?
Yeah, when you running with a full head of steam, you better be able to jump.
So I'm
that
athletic
high.
to jump high. Okay.
No, that's not athletic. That just means
That's
you jumped
athletic.
high.
Yeah.
Anyone could
In
jump
the
high.
combine, they measure the vertical.
Oh my god! Yeah, they're not from a running vertical; it's a standing vertical.
They should.
Okay. Why should they do that?
Because there's more athleticism in running and jumping than just
the
jumping.
vertical. The reason they test the vertical jump in the combine, if you really want to know, is to test explosion from a standstill. That's testing your explosion.
Bro, just because you're in the NFL
Running
for like
and
a
jumping.
day doesn't mean you get to talk like you're a superior.
I'm like this. I do
subject.
a lot of strength coach stuff now, so I try to work on all that like explosion type stuff.
I don't care. Ask Troy about what it was like to play me in basketball. Troy played basketball in high school. He was a really good athlete, and he was a really good basketball player. He challenged me to horse, and he got exposed. He knows how good I am.
Terrible. You're
Villante,
typically what a wrestler
hang on,
looks
you
like.
don't think I'm a good
football,
athlete? You don't
playing
think
basketball?
I'm a
That's
good
what it is.
athlete?
No. We played the same sports in high school. Who had better accolades?
Me, by far.
You had better accolades.
I was a 4-time college All-American.
Wait a second. So was I, first of all.
All right.
I was a 3-time college All-American. You played at JUCO. Does JUCO really count? I guess that counts.
Okay.
I was a 3-time college
All right,
All-American.
high school.
In a lot harder sport to get All-American.
How did we get to know each other? How did we meet? We met in an interesting way. Why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah, you're a little bit older than I am.
I'm 1 year older.
We were on the state wrestling team together.
No.
That's how we met.
No, I'll tell you how we met. So
we're on the state wrestling team together.
I believe it was Calhoun High School, where it all started between me and Villante.
Oh, I think it was it Calhoun?
Yeah, I seen this jock, this meathead wrestling in the semifinals. After I had pinned the guy in the semifinals, I was like, "Oh, who am I going to wrestle next?" And I see these two guys in my weight class, and they're like punching each other in the face. And this one dude, Villante, is like pushing the kid off the mat. He's just being a complete doofus and not a nice person. And I'm like, all right, he looks pretty tough. You know, he's big and strong, but I'm going to throw him around. And so he wins that match, and I see him in the finals. And I'm literally tech falling him. I beat him 14-2. But
I know how to wrestle yet. I know how to wrestle yet.
As I was about to tech fall him, his coaches are screaming, Weidman, please don't tech fall him, because they thought he'd quit.
Now, do you think anyone? Do you try to get any sort of like? Do people believe Coach you on the things you say on the show?
Greenblatt was like, Weidman, please.
Yeah, right.
You were a future state champion.
Weidman would never.
They didn't want
Weidman would never
sabotage that. You were how many state champions?
How'd you win the state championship? That picture right there. That one right behind you?
Right there, baby. Right there.
Yeah, double overtime. And how'd you win?
Let's talk about what happened with me and you. So I
was a young buck. I was
learning
how to wrestle. I was learning how to wrestle. I was learning how to wrestle.
And
I was two sport first team all state.
And what happened in practice?
I was two sport
in practice in the state on the state team. What happened?
I was still learning how to wrestle. I was still learning how to wrestle. Even when you were
a senior.
Who else practiced with us? Oh, you know what I was talking to the other day? Coach Whalen, when he thought he hurt you. Oh, he's a ref now. Yeah, he said he was heartbroken. He's the best guy. He felt so bad. He said, I didn't know what to do. He's sweating. Yeah. I was talking about it the other day. He refs now.
Tear in his eye.
He's the best guy, too.
So that story is Coach Shippos, who's like, he's the man. He's wrestled at Iowa State.
He yelled at him, right?
78 years old now, but he was my coach, and he was just old school, tough. And I love him to death. But there was one day, it was before the county championships, and I was favored to win the counties, and it was a big deal.
No, it was the states. It was state practice.
Before the states? Oh,
yeah,
okay. It was before the states.
Because I was there.
I was favored to win the states and all that. And so, you know, it was a big thing. And so the Coach Whalen, came in. He's like 300 pounds, and I'm a 189-pounder. And I start wrestling with him because it was, I guess, just to get some work in. And
he was a state champ too. He was really good.
He was a big, strong, tough dude. And I went and did like a misdirection shot, and he like sprawled on my neck, and I got a stinger, and I like fainted from pain. My neck was destroyed. And Coach Shippos just started screaming at Coach Whalen, "You can't control your weight. Get out of this room!" Like just belittling him. And this dude who's like 300 pounds was looking at Coach Shippo, was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like crying. I felt
He's the best.
awful for
He's
him.
a good wrestler. I mean, he was there helping us out.
No,
to get
he was
better.
helping
You
me out. It
need
was
big
an
guys
accident.
like that, you know?
No, he's the man.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't hold it. Of course, I don't hold
Coach
anything
Will
against
is
him,
the
even though I've had
freaking
2
man,
neck
dude.
surgeries because of that. No offense. Should probably sue him.
It's all
I'm just kidding, Coach Well, and you're the man. But yeah. But
man,
anyway,
that's funny.
Villante, for all the people out there, I bust your balls. I'll probably say it in the intro, but Villante was the
you
Thorpe
say nice
Award winner. I'm going to give you some props now.
yeah.
He was the Thorpe Award winner, which is a big deal because that means out of all of Long Island, which there's a lot of great athletes on, they pick one football player for offense and defense, right? So just one for both.
Yeah, it's not
just
all Long
overall.
Island. It's just Nassau County. But
Oh,
you
it's
can
just
say
Nassau
all Long
County?
Island. Yeah.
All right, so that's cool.
In Suffolk County, they have the Hanson Award, which is the same idea as the Thorpe Award.
Gotcha. So anyway, Villante won the Thorpe Award, which is like the biggest deal in Nassau County. Even though he was a Conference 3 kid, I was a Conference 1 kid. So it was
Conference
tougher
2. You were
competition.
Conference 1 and Conference 2. And the only time MacArthur ever played Baldwin, they destroyed him. So.
Definitely, bro. Stop.
You want to talk about that? That's
Definitely
not a lie. You can look it up. Google it, America.
Not when you were there. Google it, America.
But yeah,
you were a good athlete,
I was a two-sport first-team All-State, 2-sport All-American in high school, and you were 1-sport. So basically, that means I'm the better athlete.
Just so everybody knows, and I only get cocky like this.
I don't know how you could talk about being good at football. There's no way.
I'll tell you right now.
I've watched you run around. I've watched you
Who wins in sprints between me and you, bro? What'd you run in? You ran
one
like a
sprint,
4.4?
you could beat me. One sprint, you cannot beat me.
Okay, we did 10 sprints in a row, and you said the same
sprints
thing.
in a row
For 10 sprints in a row, you didn't beat me one.
I can't. I'm tired after I woke up the stairs.
What?
So I said I get tired walking up the stairs, but if it's one walk up the stairs, I can handle it.
No, when we went to professional physical therapy.
Yes. There was 10 sprints in a row. That's too much for me.
But it was the first sprint. I remember Jamal was their strength coach, and he said to you, John, okay, try to beat him in this one sprint. And we raced, and I beat you in the 40-yard dash. Meanwhile, you ran what'd you run? How fast was you?
No way.
What's the fastest?
4.59. I ran a 4.5. I ran a
4.59 at
255.
So how fast does that mean I run, bro? That is crazy.
You're nuts.
I'm like a 4.40.
Oh my God, you're out of your mind. True. I'm glad you believe that. Can I get one of those shirts? Where do I get one of those shirts? No, actually, I don't want that shirt. It's pretty terrible.
You could buy it. I gotta repost the link. But yeah. So how are you gonna say you're a better athlete than me, bro?
All right. I mean, you let America decide, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now, man? You made some big changes.
Yeah. I'm back in college. I wish they had a camera following me around. It is wild. So,
bro,
yeah, I'm back in college.
Hang on, let me just preface this first. So, Villante had how long of a career? Yeah, we started at the same time. So, like 12-year professional.
2009. We started. Our first fight was 2009. Yeah, February 09.
Yeah,
and my last fight was.
No, screw this.
December.
I don't want to talk about this yet, bro. I know what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about my high school football career and why I think I was good.
Why?
Because you just asked me. You tried
to completely.
You just tried to take a dump on me.
That can be validated.
People just think of me as a wrestler.
You were awful.
I was a 3-time All-Star in every sport I played. Every sport I was.
How do you figure?
Okay, let me explain this.
Nobody ever mentioned you as
the year I played in Baldwin, which we had a very good team. We had 5 guys go Division I. Those guys
never made it out of the playoffs.
It's all about politics.
Never won a playoff game.
In football, it's all about politics. And they need the label put on them. They need to be all conference or all county or all state, whatever, in order for these Division I teams to look at them. But each team only gets a certain amount of people that they're allowed to put as all county and all conference. Because I was getting these full rides to Division I schools for wrestling, they knew I was going wrestling. They couldn't give me that label of being all conference and all county. But I had the most sacks in all of Nassau County. I had 2 sacks on DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Go look that up, world. 2 sacks on the guy who was 3rd overall as an offensive lineman out of University of Virginia from Freeport, my rival. So yeah, That's
Did you
fine.
guys ever win a playoff game or anything like that? No, right? But you had all these nasty
We
people
kind
who
of
went and played college football, right?
we made some big mistakes in some big
Oh,
games,
big mistakes.
but we were
Oh,
very
okay.
talented. Hey, how about
I mean,
Hofstra? How good was Hofstra? But you guys had 6 guys go to the NFL.
as a guy who
Yeah,
coaches high school
exactly.
football now, I can tell you this: we don't care what you're doing to go if you're going to go play in college or not. The person who deserves it gets to
Okay,
be
let me ask you.
all counting.
Let me give you this as an
I can't
example.
speak for
If
your
you have two
coaches. I
defensive
can
ends,
speak for my coaches.
if you have two defensive ends, right?
All right, and one's
One
way better
defensive.
than the
Hang
other.
on, no, close. One defensive end his goal is to play in college, and he's looking at
Right.
West Virginia University, and he has 10 sacks, right? And he's
Yeah.
unbelievable. The other guy on the other side is just a wrestler. He's going to college. He's gonna go to college and wrestle, in Division One.
Right.
And that's his thing. But he happens to have 12 sacks, and he's the best defensive end we've ever seen. But the other guy
We've
is
ever
got to go.
seen.
He really wants to play football in college. Which guy are you going to give the label to?
These are both the ends that are this good, right? Why can't I pick them both if they're that good?
Because you also have a strong safety that's looking to get to college. You
So
also
you
a
have all
running
these
back.
guys that are getting all these sacks and they're that good and they're all playing in college, but
Yeah,
you
we had a
guys
sick
can't win
team.
a playoff game and you
Well,
can't make the
so that's why
playoffs.
if you're gonna, yes, this happens. It's a
I
team
guess
sport. It's
so.
not
I
about
mean,
4 or
yeah, high
5
school
players.
sports, yeah.
Well,
For
tell me
sure.
about college sports. In Hofstra, there was 6 guys went to the NFL from your graduating class, and
Right.
your team was
Right.
terrible.
We were 7-4.
So you guys were 7-4, and 6 guys went to the NFL. Is that not a little weird?
I mean, yeah, there's other teams that have as many guys in the NFL too. One AA football is pretty good, man.
What?
So there's some guys in one AA football that's pretty good. So that's what happens.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into you. What happened with you in your football career? You honestly, out of
What about it?
everybody
Why I stopped playing football?
At Hofstra, you were, I think, the best football player on the team. I think
Right?
everyone who
Maybe.
watched thought you were the best on the team. But there were 6 guys that went to the NFL, and you weren't one of them. What the hell happened?
It's probably why I'm a better fighter. When we had an old coach, Coach Gardy, I probably would be in the NFL if I still had him, but he left my junior year and a new guy came in. And when he came in, you never know. I think I tell you this story. When he
I know
came
this
in,
story, but this is for the people.
okay. Well, when he came in,
You're not coaching.
I had a little bit of an attitude problem. I was a kid. I was a little bit of an attitude problem. And I was also returning first team All American. I was like top 3 in defensive player of the year. Like I was legit dude. You know what I mean?
Now, was that
I was
Division
pretty
One
good.
AA, top 3 in right?
I was a top 3, defensive player of the year. It's called like the Buchanan Award, I think it was. I was up for that. So I was in the top 3 in voting for that. I had all these good things, all these good accolades coming back, and I'm star middle linebacker. And the coach comes in order for him to keep control of the team, he's got to show, hey, let me put this big bad All American guy in place. So like he was just right away, he didn't treat me like a man. He treated me like a little kid, and his goal was to put me in a certain light in front of my teammates, and I didn't take that well. If he would have talked to me like a man, put me aside, told me what he's trying to do, this and that, fine. But he does this in front of my teammates. I didn't get along with him well because of that, and we came to blows a couple times.
Give me a story. Give me a story
bad.
with that.
Like I legitimately grabbed a guy by his throat a couple times. Like,
wait, the head coach?
Yeah, the head coach. Like
you grabbed him by
I've
the
been kicked
throat.
out of practice. I didn't show up for a week. Like it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I missed a game my senior year. It was bad. I really fought with this.
Why did you grab him by the throat, though?
Because he was talking to me a certain way that you wouldn't talk to your worst enemy. He's been fired a couple different spots because of stuff like this. So it was bad. Unless I'm not going to go into it, but it is what it is. If he said stuff like that nowadays, he wouldn't be around. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so he was belittling you in front of everybody, and you just stood
yeah.
up
And I'm at this point, I'm a man. You know what I mean? I'm not like a little kid anymore. You can't talk to me like this. So
yeah,
I got a little mad, and that's probably a lot of it. Maybe I don't know. I don't coach like that. When I coach, that's not the way I coach. I don't coach where I belittle people. My whole thing is to lift people up and make them better. And whatever they do something wrong, I'm not gonna kill them about it.
But how did this affect you with going into the NFL?
Well, he's the guy that has to vouch for you. Your head coach doesn't vouch for you. Your head coach doesn't put the good word in for you. Your head coach doesn't pump you up to different NFL teams, this and that. The whole thing with all the world we live in, anything is who you know. And if he's a guy who's telling them this is not a guy you want on your team, he's a guy, he's a cancer, he's this, he's bad, he's got bad attitude, this and that. When you're a guy, I'm not going to say I'm a first round draft pick. Maybe if I was a first round draft pick type guy, then I probably would have got away with it. But I was a guy that had a little bit of attitude issues and needed to grow up a little bit. And if he's the guy telling everyone, you don't want to be with a guy like this, every little thing counts. And that's who they go to talk to about you. And they say he's saying bad things. Yeah, and listen,
I feel like
I'm not
everybody
gonna
loves
blame.
you. How
Everything
couldn't you have
happened for a
kissed
reason.
his ass a little bit, knowing that this is going to get you to the NFL? Like, I feel like you're pretty good at
I
getting
didn't
people to like
obviously
you.
think about that. I don't, that's something I'm thinking about when I have a coach who's
So
like
you
this.
think he literally was like you think he was talking bad
100%. There's
about
no
you to
way.
teams?
I mean, I would too if I was him.
Do you know
I
for a
mean,
fact that he was actually saying
no,
these
I
things
don't know
about
for a
you?
fact, but he had to have, and I don't blame him. I would have said the same thing if I'm him. If he's telling the truth, I had attitude problems. I didn't react well to his type of coaching criticism, and in the NFL, I'm sure there are some coaches that are worse than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's coaches that aren't. You know what I mean? They treat you like a man. That's it. Then
I think most of the NFL coaches, from what I
probably
hear,
treat you like men, right? Yeah, they're
yeah,
not
they
going to
treat
treat
you
you
like
like, oh,
men.
okay.
Like,
But
it's
there
a
are other
business. You're there to
coaches. The
work
whole
hard. If you're not,
Parcells
you're out.
era back then, it was, can rip dudes, and he ripped. He was all about ripping dudes, telling you to get your Vaseline. He's getting in that ass. He was bad. This guy was.
What's his name? Let's put his name out there.
He was a good dude to me. I mean, like,
He was a good dude to me.
no.
I don't
Like,
know.
eventually we got
You're
along
scared
with
of him.
certain things, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna badmouth the guy because of this. Like I said, Coach Guardy to me, and some of those coaches before were like family to me, and they were good. And some of the assistant coaches were family to me, and I love those guys to death. It just me and the head coach did not get along, man, and it was a problem. And I think a lot of that was why I'm not playing in the NFL, or why I never did.
And so then take me from there. So
I mean, I had all the numbers too. I had like all the bench numbers, all the running numbers, and I performed
what
on the
numbers did
field.
you have? Tell me the numbers.
I ran a 40 and 4.5, like we were talking about. I blew up. I was 255. I did 225 30 times. I jumped 39 inches. Like, I had standing vert. Like, I had all the numbers. And a lot of times you have guys with numbers, but they don't have the stats to back it up. Like, they can't play, but they are workout warriors. I was a workout warrior, and I had the numbers. So
Yeah.
what other reason is attitude? And attitude was a thing. And I'm not going to say that I look perfect. I learned a lot from that situation.
But you kind of like, you tried like once. So go into like what happened. So you were on a team or two. Like, talk about that. Like, and
I
then
did like the
why you
whole
stopped.
practice squad shit. I was kind of mad at what the position they put me. A lot of the NFL stuff too is the position you get put in to make those teams as a walk-on, which is basically what I was trying to do, is to go to places where they hadn't drafted linebackers. So they're not going to, let's say they drafted a fourth-round linebacker. They're not going to say, oh, let's use the walk-on guy. If they wasted a pick on a fourth-round draft pick, it's going to take that a lot for them, and it's going to look bad to the higher-ups, the GM and stuff like that. They're going to get fired because, like, let's say they give the job to the walk-on guy instead of the fourth-round guy. They're going to say, why the hell did we draft this guy in the fourth round? We could have got somebody else, and we paid all this money. So then they're going to look at that coach, and he's going to be in trouble. So, a lot of where I walked on, they had already drafted guys. So I had to beat them out. To do that, you really have to show something. And a lot of times you're not hitting, you're not, all you're really doing is just showing how quick you can pick up a system. And I could do that, but it wasn't. Am I going to flash that good in front of these guys that I'm going to beat out a fourth-round draft pick? Probably not. Yeah. It does. Guys do it, but it's all about the situation you're in. You know what I mean?
I think you were more of a gamer too, right? Like, you feel like
probably, but I could practice too. I knew. I mean, when it was time to get down to it, I knew how I could pick up a system and stuff like that. But I just didn't. I didn't didn't catch their eye enough that I could beat out a guy that they drafted, and that's not a bad thing. Agent didn't do a good job for me getting me in the right situation. That's all that is getting yourself in the right situation. People, there are guys that walk on teams and last 20 years in the NFL because they get in the right situation. That's all it really takes. It's a business just like anything. It's a who you know, and if you get the right guy who likes you and gets behind you, then you'll make it far.
I mean, you gave it a shot. You were on practice, like two practice teams?
Yeah,
What teams?
Bucks and Eagles, and then Jets for a little bit, just a couple tryouts, and that was it, really.
But you did pretty much give up on your football career pretty quickly, right?
Pretty quick, yeah.
If
I
you
mean, once
compared to
you
other
read the
people.
writing on the wall, they're guys that really do try to make it, and they'll spend years trying to make it. And some guys do make it, but it's not easy. I read the writing on the wall, and I kind of was, like I said, I was upset about the whole thing. What else can I do? I had the numbers, I had the stats. I had all the workouts they wanted. I did everything they told me that they wanted from me, and where it comes to running fast and being strong and being explosive, I did everything I wanted. I was able to pick up a system fast. What else could it be? It was the attitude thing, and that's not something that they're going to change their mind on overnight. So I went to a sport that I knew that it wasn't going to be some fucking some fat guy who could some fat guy who wear sandals to practice telling me that I could play football and
Yeah.
telling me how good of an athlete I am. So I went to a sport like MMA where I kind of determine my own wins and losses, where it's not a coach telling me, he's not good enough, we'll go with someone else. It's either you're good enough or you're not. And you get in there and you fight it out to determine. And that's it.
That is the nice thing about fighting and like individual sports is that it's kind of just on you. Like that's what I hated about my football career. It's like it was all so political. I mean, I obviously could have went to the NFL.
No. Well, that's what's good about a wrestling and a football. Like you said, in football, you had your other DN who could have been all county over you or whatever. But in wrestling, it's you go out and determine it. There's nobody voting on who's all county, who's all state, who's all whatever. It's you go and earn it. And that's what's great about a sport like wrestling and an individual sport. That's the stuff I love about it. And that's the type of sports type of stuff I'd like to get any kid into, because you go out there and you earn it,
Yeah. Well, so you ended up leaving football and get into mixed martial arts, and we started at the same time, which is crazy. And you had an amazing career, 12 years as a professional mixed martial arts fighter. Like, what are you looking back now? Is there any regrets? Are you happy? Like, what's your overall thoughts now after having some time after retiring on your career?
I mean, I definitely thought if I took it a little bit more, I was just the time of my life. I took it serious, but I didn't take it like as serious as you did. You took it like this was MMA was your life. You watched fights, you did everything. I don't know that I ever watched a fight that wasn't, yours, Stipe's or the Aljo out. You know what I mean? Like my buddies. It wasn't something that I liked it, and it was cool and it was fun. I loved the people I got to meet. I had so much fun doing it, but I took it as more of a fun thing to do than a job that I was going to support my family with. And it wasn't something I needed for that, luckily. You know what I mean?
Do you think that changed over time though? Do you think that was your mindset from the get-go? Or because I look back into like when you were heading into Strikeforce, I think you were very focused.
Yeah.
Like, and go ahead.
Yeah, losses change that, man. Like, working so damn hard, it kind of knocks you off that path of shit, I should, I could be champ, this and that. It knocks you off that path. And then you think, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? Like, is it really worth the amount of dedication and hard work I just put into this camp? Is it really worth everything I just put into it and then I go get a loss and get half my money? Like it kind of stinks. So then I get upset about it, and it would bother the hell out of me. And I think from there, after that, first, second, third loss, I'm just kind of like, and I know I did everything right, and I still get a damn loss. So if I'm poked in the eye or something stupid, I've had some really stupid losses. My first loss, I dislocated my elbow.
Oh, Vince St.
Trying
Preux,
to face a guy.
That should have been your win.
I've got a lot of bad losses on my
elbow. Oh my
stupid
God,
things.
nasty.
Yeah. So then you wonder, all this work and dedication you put in just to get a loss. I don't know, it kind of upset me, and I didn't take it as serious as I should have. That's probably a regret, that I should have taken it a little bit serious and not thought about what went into it instead of, what I mean? I should just put that same effort in every time. Like I said, that kind of slowly, gradually got worse. Like you just said, like it wasn't something right away. I didn't give it and went and get fought. It
You
was
think
something
you
that
slowly got worse?
I think I slowly gave it less and less for sure.
Really?
I liked fighting.
Were you
I thought it
thinking
was
that?
great.
Were you noticing that, like yourself?
No, like I still cared, and I was still nervous before I got in
No, I
there.
know you were nervous. I'm talking
All
about in
that.
training, like your training. Like I'm talking about your training.
Right.
In your training, did you start feeling like I'm not doing as good and I'm not working as hard as it progressed?
Yeah, I probably put less hours in. I probably did less conditioning stuff. There's probably a lot of things I should have done more that I didn't. And did I do everything I could have? Every single thing. Like there were times where I knew I put everything I had into a training camp. I had nothing else left to give in a day. And then there were times where I knew I could have given more. And I probably got less and less as time went on.
You think it was because you seen me? You see how hard I would work every single day,
That
right
could
next
be
to
it.
you,
That could be
and
it.
you'd be
For
like, "What's the
sure.
point? Like Weidman's doing that, and he's still the same guy. What's the point of you watch? I killed myself every day. He's all these surgeries,
and you would get
still
losses,
get losses.
and it sucks. Yeah, I mean that could be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like seeing what goes into it, and then
Wait, so did you just
the
admit that I
results.
work really hard?
Oh, you did work hard. I'll give you that for sure, man. No matter what, it was easier for you to work hard, though. I'll give you that. You could say that.
Why is it easier?
You naturally had better conditioning. I was naturally a more explosive, stronger athlete. You were naturally a more aerobic athlete. I was naturally a more anaerobic athlete.
I agree with that.
Naturally,
Yeah.
not without any work put in. That's what you are. That's what I am. And
not that I'm the most aerobic though. There's guys who I think have better gifts than that than me. But
you could come in after not training for like 3-4 weeks and be in better shape than me. I'd be so fucking pissed. I'd be like, what?
But I
hell?
I am a mental. I am like.
Yeah, you would get me to that point and that I get there.
I will not show that I'm tired to try to get in your head though. Like I think that's probably a bad thing. I try to I break my training partners, right? Like mentally.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Well, but it's also,
got me.
I'm mentally fucking with your head without you realizing it.
It's
like I might not be in better shape than you, but I'm pushing through pretending like I am.
There were times I'm telling you wouldn't train at all, and you come in and you'd be in better shape. I'd be so pissed. I'm like, what? All this work I'm putting in, there's more of these conditioning sessions, and he's still in better shape, and it's like would F with you, man. It really would.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there was no way I'd beat you in a bench press competition or a squat competition. Anything with honestly, almost anything with weights. And it's crazy because I work out with guys here now, and some of them are, in the NFL and shit, and I'm like right there with all of them, and I'm like Villante. I couldn't keep up with Villante with any of this crap.
Those guys are animals, man. Jeez.
They are, but I don't think any. I still to this day don't know anybody was as naturally gifted as you when it came to as being an athlete and explosivity, and you were tough. Like most people, like you could be explosive, but you also were tough as hell. Like with the injuries and stuff.
Tough.
Like
not good, not smart.
I pride myself in being tough and being not letting people know I'm injured or whatever. You were on a whole different level. Like if we kicked each other at the same time, my bones hurt worse than your bones. You know what I mean? Like
I call you a hypochondriac. You don't call yourself this anymore. I think you're like the biggest baby when it comes to injuries in the world. If you got a paper cut on your finger, you were pondering surgery. You're a baby when it comes to this stuff.
Bro, I'm
but maybe I just
with
consider
being
everyone
at my best. What?
Maybe I consider everyone a baby.
You're like a Lenny from Mice of Men. Like you grab things and twist them and do things like it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
Like if we're drilling, I remember I would get so mad. Like you're just throwing a leg kick nice and light, and we're drilling with like Trimble, and you're supposed to just throw it to my leg, and I'm checking it, and you'd kill my leg, and I'm looking at you like, you kidding me? And then I try to kick you.
Hans used to teach me that just to be heavy on the leg and come down hard. So that's why I got. That's where I learned
Well,
that
if you
from.
have Hans teaching you that, then that's
Yeah.
probably why. He really knows his stuff when it comes to kicking for sure. Um, let's talk about like you in I guess in your younger years at this point, in college, you had some crazy times at the bar. I want to go into let's talk about the knife story because you definitely were a dude nobody wanted to mess with because you were tough and athletic and strong and all that shit and you didn't give a crap. You were willing to throw down. You were more
Yeah.
talk, I will say, especially as years went on. But you have thrown down, and there were some legendary fights that you have been in, and
Yeah, it
one
was
being the knife
every
story.
time there was a fight for whatever reason. Like I guess that was my reputation, which wasn't good. I would get called if a damn kicker on the team got into a fight. He would call me. If a offensive lineman on the team got into a fight, he would call me. I'm like, why no? Why are you calling me? Handle it yourself every damn time. And yeah, I got myself not in trouble, but I don't know. Every time I ever fought, no matter what it was always, the street fight and stuff was always just protecting someone or helping out a friend, and didn't always turn
So
out well.
let's
So
talk about let's do the two knife stories, or like the beer bottle one and then the knife story. But start with the knife story because that's
well,
the
see,
craziest
this
one.
could be another reason why I'm not in the NFL. If I tell the second, the first story was when I used to work at this bar, and I walked out this girl to her car. Girl I met at that night, super nice girl. Walk her out to her car, say goodnight, go back around the other side of the bar, and I see one of my buddies on the team, offensive lineman guy, who's huge at this guy on my team, monster.
What's his name again?
I'm not putting his name on
Oh yeah,
blast.
Mick whatever Mick, big
Something
old
like
Jack
that.
dude. Yeah.
Big. This guy is huge, man. He's the most biggest guy on the team, and he's ready to fight these like 4 or 5 dudes that are like surrounded him. I'm like, this ain't good. So I woke up. I'm like, yo, get the hell out of here. And I'm working at this bar too, so technically I'm doing my job. I'm telling them, hey, get out of here. You guys got to leave. Blah blah blah. And they're not going. Blah blah blah. They're like taking their shirts off. They're ready to fight. Like it's like the middle of the street. I'm like, these guys, this is crazy. So I snatch one guy and I try to like by snatching this one dude. I'm thinking the rest of them will run off. Snatch this one dude. I put him in like a rear naked, and the other, I think it was either 2 or 3 guys are on my back, punching me in the side of the head. I'm thinking they're scratching me. I just thought they had like long fingernails or whatever. And my buddy, the big packing guy, doesn't do anything. He's with his girl, making sure his girl stays away. And I'm fighting these 3, 4 dudes. I forget
So
how
you had
many.
nobody with you having your back with these dudes?
Well, Sean was there, but he
He
didn't
didn't do anything.
do anything. He kind of
Yeah.
like watched it, and these 3, 4 dudes, it was quick, but these 3, 4 dudes are hitting me on the side of the head while I'm choking this one guy. So then once I feel him go limp or whatever, I let go and I go to like fight the other guys and be like, take care of myself a little because they hit me in the side of the head. I'm kind of just like this or whatever.
Yeah.
And as I let go, they run off. I'm like, all right. So, he wasn't much he could do. It was like
Wait,
a
hang on. You put the
15
kid to
second
sleep,
fight.
right?
Yeah, it was like a 15-second fight. So he's on the ground, and the other 3 kids run off. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I guess that went good. At least I don't have to fight these other dudes. My buddy's like, thank you. He goes to walk me in the bar. He's like, I appreciate it. I'm like, let me get back to work. And he goes to pat me on the back, and he looks at you, and he's like, yo, your shirt's all ripped, and something's bleeding. Did you cut them? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then he looks, and my back was completely filleted. I guess the guy razor bladed me. I have 85 staples down my back.
Bro,
he,
let's see. Let me see
he
those
filleted
staples.
me.
Show those
I'm not
staples.
getting up
Get
right
up
now.
and show the staples.
You're not going to be able to see it, especially
You
on
don't
this
think
camera.
so? All right,
No.
we'll have to go to a picture because there's pictures of it, I'm
And
sure.
yes, I had like a zipper down my back. It was
No, it's
pretty
nasty.
bad.
It's basically from your like your neck all the way down to your ass, right?
Yeah, it's like the middle of my shoulder blades and the guy just got me from behind and ran off, and that was it. But listen, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna blame them on that one. That was their fault. That was a stupid thing. We're 2 big dudes. I would have used a weapon too. You know what I'm saying?
Are you you're saying they did the right thing?
I'm a big dude, man, and
But they were
the
trying to
other guy
fight you
is
guys.
twice the size of
They
me.
should have walked
So,
away. What are you talking about?
well, he didn't. He only thought they were fighting the one big guy. And I came from around the bar. They didn't see me coming. So, two big guys. I would have tried to do the same thing.
Oh my god! You would stab
And then the
somebody?
other time it happened. No, well, I'm just saying, if the guys are that big, what else are you gonna do? And
Yeah.
the other time I got was this was the night before I went to no, 2 days before the like pro day at Hofstra or whatever, where all the scouts come and look at you and all this
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. And I wound up, it was like a stupid fight. Guy hit me in the head with a bottle, and the bottle didn't break. So then my face came out to here. My eye went out to here because the bottle didn't break. Thank God it didn't. I would have glass in my eye. And so after that, winds up being like a big brawl. Like, wind up fighting like 5, 6 kids. The one dude breaks a bottle over my friend's head, and as he breaks it over his head, it stabs him in the neck with the bottle. And I tackle this kid, and as I tackle him, he sticks the bottle in my shoulder like repeatedly, like 4 or 5 times or
Mother
whatever.
effort.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I beat him up or whatever. And then I realized this my buddy got cut in the neck. After he's done or whatever, I look at my friend, he's bleeding out the neck. I'm like, shoot, I'm the only sober one there. So I had to drive to the bar, and I drive to the hospital, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there. I'm like, yo, can you guys stop throwing water on me? What's going on? And nobody's like, no, we're not doing anything. And they're just holding his neck. I'm like, all right, we're almost there. We're almost there. I get there, and then I finally get to the hospital. And as we're walking through the emergency doors or whatever with my buddy, I'm just seeing blood everywhere. I'm like, what's going on? Blood is like it does in the movie. I don't. That's
It
real,
was
I
just
guess.
like it
Like
was just gushing
spitting
out.
out of my
Yeah.
arm, spitting out of my shoulder, bro. Crazy. Like, what the hell? So I wind up getting like 80 stitches in my shoulder because of the way it was a bottle. It was like really jagged or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I had like 80 stitches in my shoulder. My buddy got 3 stitches in his neck. So he had like
Oh my
they scraped
gosh.
his neck. It was
And wait,
nothing.
so you didn't know when you were like punching him on the ground that you were getting stabbed with a bottle until
No, he
afterwards?
got me on the way down. It was like a bunch of times. Like we had like wrestled. We were wrestling for a little bit, and as we're wrestling, before I could get him down, he stuck me in the shoulder a couple times.
And did you know at the time he was sticking you with a bottle?
No, I mean, your adrenaline's rushing. You just go,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
until the fight was over, until I got to the hospital, I didn't know. Just
yeah.
blood, spit everywhere.
That is crazy.
Stupid. But listen,
You
man, those are things. I was a kid. I don't blame that kid either. I was twice the size of that kid.
let's go into our last street fight together that we had.
Oh, when we beat up the bodybuilders, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. I want you tell the story, and I'll jump in every once in a while.
uh oh, so this is where a night out. I don't think either one of us were drinking too heavily. And then this is like when we were
We were with George, and we had a table and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, we're not used to like this is like we're not used to the life of being at table service, this and
Yeah,
that. Like we think we're the coolest guys in the
yeah,
world.
yeah,
And we're sitting on the bars, and I see these guys that walk in, huge. They gotta be taller than us, like
yeah,
probably 6'4", 6'5",
yeah,
like 290,
yeah,
yoked out of them ones,
yeah.
like
Juiced up,
all
juiced up.
jacked, juiced
Yeah,
up guys.
big old gold
They
chains.
yeah, they're walking through the bar, they're shouldering people, knocking into people, and I point out to Chris, I'm like, at some point in the night, I'm gonna mess with this guy or something like that. I say to you, I'm gonna fuck with this guy, and then later on in the night, I see the guy again, and he's like bumping into people, walking through the bar, and he like knocks into me, and I kind of like threw my drink on him, like on purpose or whatever. And I'm like, oh, dude, look at this. I start patting, oh my God, why is that so hard? Blah, blah, blah. And like,
Yeah.
I'm messing with the
Bro,
guy, like just
no,
being a
yo, you
complete wise
smacked him on
ass.
the ass. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
something
man, you're
like
so
that.
big and strong, and grabbed him by his
Right.
shoulders, and he
Just
looked at
being
you
a
like,
complete
who is this
wise
guy
ass.
touching me? No one
Right.
touches me like that.
Just being such an ass. And he must think like, okay, something's gotta be wrong with this guy that he's touching me like this. So I just messing with him like that. He's just bullying people. I didn't like that whole thing. He's like throwing little people around. I don't know. He just seemed like a big bully. And then I'm like, all right, whatever, man. Wait to the end of the night, and I see the guy. I can think I'm crossing the street to leave or whatever. You're like still kind of like the entranceway. I'm like crossing the street to leave, and the car pulls up. Oh, the valet pulls the car up, and these 4 juice heads get in the car. I'm like, oh God, gotta mess with Mike. And so then I start messing with them. Forget what it
Oh,
was.
you start with them again?
Yeah. I said something like, "Oh my God, it's the monsters from inside. You
Yeah.
guys are scary, man. Holy, thank God you guys are leaving. I got really nervous from before, stuff like that, and just messing with them, like kidding around. And they're telling me how they're gonna kick my ass. Let's go outside. I'm like, we're already outside. What do you mean? And I'm like that. I'm like, and they're like, no, let's go down the blocks. And they're trying to tell me, let's go down there so no one breaks it up. So then I try getting in the car. I'm like, it's too cold. I'm not walking. Blah,
Bro, that was
blah.
the best line ever.
Yeah.
They look at this is when I came over at this point, and I'm just listening to you guys go back and forth. And they were like, "All right, you guys want to go? You guys want to go around the block and fight?" And Villante's like, "Yeah, but it's cold out. You mind giving us a ride?" And he starts opening up their back door, and the juice heads were like, "Hey, don't touch my car! Don't you get in here!" It was hysterical.
So then we kind of like bolt that. So Chris is at the driver's side window. I'm at the passenger side window, and
No, I was at
they
the
don't
I
want
was
to.
with Pash. I was at the passenger side window too with you
Oh yeah,
because
so
he
they don't
walked around the
want to.
car. Yeah.
Right, they don't want to do nothing. Like for whatever reason, they don't want to get out of the car when it was just me. But then
Because you're
Chris comes
scared.
over.
Because you're kind of scary looking.
Nerdy looking Chris comes over, and once they see Chris, the guy gets out of the car and charges Chris like he's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I'm like they didn't mess with me at all. They go
No.
right after Chris, and Chris knee picks this guy and like kind of like underhook throw, I don't know, something, and then just starts giving him a nuggie on the ground and slapping his face around, like totally embarrassing the guy. And then he gets up after he totally embarrassing guy, giving the nuggie, telling him he feels bad for him that he doesn't have hair. He's like one of those type of guys.
Yeah.
And he gets up and to the biggest juice head. This guy was the biggest one. And he's like, "What, you want some too? You better shut your damn mouth." And like, cause he's out of the car at this point. We're all just watching his buddy get nuggied. And he's like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. And then they got in the car.
It was typical. Like Villante, like you didn't give a crap. Like it would take a lot for you to actually fight somebody. Me, I'm a little bit like I'm not going to start anything. But if someone's saying like being disrespectful to me or the people I'm with, I'm like, all right, are we fighting? All right, let's go. And
we were 22-year-old kids at the time, 23-year-old kids. I mean, it was bad. Yeah. So,
but yeah, that was.
I don't promote that stuff.
No. That's not. And notice I didn't punch him one time because it's super dangerous. People you could die like that. But all right. So you finished you had a great MMA career. Let's talk about your retirement life and what's
so now I'm back in school, going from that was pretty funny. So last year I decided I'm going to go back and I had like when I did the NFL stuff. Like I went and gave it my all, man. I went and gave it more. I had a semester left of college. I dropped out of college, and I went and gave it my all. Lived on a farm, did everything right, put on the weight, did everything right, and it didn't work out for me. Like I said, so when I knew I was done, I was done. And then so I had a semester left in college, so I went and I had to finish it. I started in the spring last year. And then I wound up finishing like 15 credits between the spring and the fall of this year. And then this spring I just started. I've been student teaching, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty funny to watch me back in class, like actually with notes. I got a 3-ring binder. Everything's awesome.
Yeah, what is that like going back with all these young kids being in college? You're 36. You've had a career already. I mean, people know who you are. Like
yeah, it's cool. I liked it. I had a great time. All the people I'm with are awesome. All the kids in class are cool. And they all help me out if I need help with anything. But like going back, I wish I loved school this much the first time around. Obviously, old people will always tell you that, but I wish I figured out that, hey, this is something that's, will help you out in life and it's good to do good. And I just didn't take it as serious as I should have the first time around. So I'm loving school now. I'm actually learning a lot and can't wait to start a career, man. Next thing is, going to school to be a teacher. So I'm doing a lot of coaching right now. And then I'm doing student teaching in Amityville right now, which I love, having so much fun. These kids are great. I'm in with 3rd to 5th graders, and it's
Oh,
the
really?
best thing in the world.
So you're
Yeah.
doing a little bit with elementary school kids, then you got to go like junior high, high school,
3rd to
right?
5th grader, then I go to the high school. I'm gonna go out there and I coach wrestling. So I think we just finished now. States are over. I'm gonna do a couple off-season tournaments with the guys, but that's really it. And then time's a lot better now to be able to get things done. But yeah, I'm loving the student teaching. I can't I think elementary's where I'm at, man. You know how I am with being a big little kid. So
No,
I'm
you're
having so
great. You're
much
great
fun.
with kids. What do you like? Is it hard going from fighting into like a job like this, like a normal job, just being a teacher and coaching? Because the highs of a fighter are probably like nothing else, and the lows of a fighter are like
Mm,
nothing else. So to go from something like that to something where you're not really gonna have those crazy highs
yeah.
again, is that weird?
No, I welcome normalcy, man. I can't wait to have some of that. Like I'll get my highs from watching my son or my daughter do something great. You know, I've had my share. I'm good with the ones I had, and I'm good with never having any of those lows again. You know, so I'll get that stuff from watching my kids, and even watching some of the kids that I coach. I'm sure that'll be just as much competition for me. Especially you start to really like now with the football and wrestling and stuff. You really like love these kids, man, and really want to see them do well when you coach these guys. And I'll get just as high doing that. Watching, I probably get more high watching one of my guys win the counties or win the states, or even a guy who placed in the counties who wasn't supposed to type thing. You know what I mean? I'll get more high out of that than I will get in a win now time. Because I've had those stuff. Now this is something new for me, and I'm loving this, man. I'm telling you,
That's
the highs
awesome.
I've had wrestling, watching some of the guys on the team this year, kids. I had a kid take 3rd in the county this year that should not have taken 3rd in the county. So, you know what I mean? And just a hard-working dude. Anything you tell him to do, he'll do it. And that's the type of stuff that you love, man. That's where I'm getting my highs right now. And so, do I miss that stuff? Not really. Like that's I'm getting it there. I really am. I'm still getting it. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
coaching
I
to
mean,
me is so much fun. And even teaching, watching, you could get some of these kids to do certain things. It's just like it's awesome when you get maybe a special needs kid and have them shooting basketball hoops with you, and they become your best friend, holding your hand, walking around class all day. It's sometimes the highs you get out of that are new highs that I you know didn't realize were just as good as some of those other ones. I'm telling you, just as good, if not better. They really are. Something you got to love what you're doing, and I really do. And like I said, being able to with some of these kids do some of these things that they didn't think they could do, and they go and achieve it. It's the coolest thing in the world.
yeah, I'm happy for you, man. I think
Yeah, I
it's
love it, man.
exactly
I
what
really
you're.
do.
I think you kind of always knew that you'd fold. This would be what you end up doing, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. It's something I always had a
a
desire to
passion.
do and a
Yeah,
love to do, and something I would passion. Like love watching kids and have like had more fun sometimes and more of that same feeling of winning watching you or watching Stipe or being in your corners for that type of stuff. That was just as thrilling to me being there and coaching that stuff than it was doing it yourself. So doing that stuff as a coach or as a guy that helped them get there along the way is the best thing in the world.
yeah. Let's talk about the change that you made in your life because everyone that knows you, it was the most
What
drastic
change
change, something
was
that
this?
people could never imagine. You were like the Rob Gronkowski of mixed martial arts, as far as like going out. You were single and mingling. You
Yeah.
were the life of the party, just out a lot. Whatever.
Right.
Like girls like to hang out, around you. You did pretty good, as hard as painful
Okay.
as
For an ugly
at the
guy,
end of
for
the day, we're
sure.
both married and you got kids now, so I could say this, but like out of nowhere, you completely changed, and nobody would have ever guessed because next thing you know, you get Katie, you guys have a baby, and you don't go out anymore. You're not interested in
Yeah,
anything
no
else other than
desire
your
to it
family.
either. Yeah.
Like how did that from like you're in high school, you have these habits of being that guy who's out and about and
Hmm.
like the life of the party and everybody wants to hang out with you. And then 15 years later, basically, you just switch it off. Like, how does that happen?
I guess I had my fill probably a while ago. I had my fill of it. And you meet the right one, man. That's all it took. And I guess everyone says that as like a cheesy way, but Katie's awesome, man. She holds it down. She really does. And she was the best thing ever that happened to me. And she holds it down like you wouldn't believe, man. She's the greatest thing. And that's really what got me here is her. And wasn't that like, you know, I was looking for that or anything. It just happened and we were perfect. And she was perfect for me. And that's how it got there. I know people say that all the time. It's cheesy, but that's really, how it was for me. And yeah,
Well,
I did love all that, and I was pretty good at being that guy and having. You wanted to have a good time, and you were in the UFC. You knew to call me up. We were gonna go have a good time.
yeah.
No matter what we were doing. I'm sure a lot of guys could tell you stories of me just us walking around a casino having fun or something like that. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
was always that type of guy, and I'm still a fun guy. This and that, but I don't have those same desires to go drinking, this and that, having fun doing that. I have fun at home with my wife and my kids. That's it. That's what's fun to me now. That's the funnest thing I can see
Yeah.
myself doing. All my friends, they get, upset. They want to go do this, they want to do this. My wife has to do that, or my wife's got to take me. No, I'd much rather be with her and them.
I love
So
it.
I know it's a little cheesy, but that's really where I'm at now in life. So
Well, it's
I don't
awesome.
know.
It's like
Got no. I
you
don't give
know
a
where you're
shit.
at and you're happy with it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Yo,
appreciate you,
did you
man.
see what happened with Kane?
Yeah, bro. Oh my
Bro,
god.
what's your thoughts on that?
Everyone talks about. I love that Dana said that. That's a good Dana quote. That
What
he
did
said.
Dana say?
Everyone talks about. If you were in this situation, what they would do, and Kane went and did it. Then, I mean, of course, you're telling me you're not going to do that same thing. I mean,
Oh,
hundred
100%. Bro,
percent.
the guy was
Every
let
single
out
guy.
after 3 days.
It's insane, man.
And
That
100
whole.
times, and I think legally we're not allowed to say if it was his son or daughter or what it was,
I know.
but
Well,
it
I don't give a
is
shit
his
if it was his
relative,
next door neighbor. I mean,
five,
whoever. I mean,
5 or 4 year old kid, over 100 times, and you find out it's a 41-year-old guy who's in that house where your kid's at daycare.
dude, there's no way.
Bro,
Nope,
and he
nothing
gets
stopping me.
out 3 days later. So now you have to go on with your life knowing that this guy who did this to your kid is just free without any ramifications,
Yeah.
walking around. Like, he needs to die. You need to take
Man,
if there is no
man.
law, you need to take the law in your own hands. The thing that sucks is that he shot the wrong guy.
He was. Did you read the stories? He was chasing the car down. So how do
Yeah.
you stop a car? You can't beat it. Everyone's like, why did he shoot? Why does he need a gun? He's Cain Velasquez. How the hell do you stop a car? You can't beat up a car. So he's trying to stop the car so he can freaking destroy the guy
Well, I
who
think what
did
what
this.
people are trying to say is, like, if he had a clear mind, okay, let's find this guy when he's alone and I'm going to beat the shit out of him. But when you have a
He doesn't
rage,
have a clear mind. Yeah,
no,
there's no
you're
way now he
raging,
has a
bro.
clear mind.
Someone
Yeah,
basically the
all
worst
the way.
possible thing to someone that you love more than anything in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to protect that. And
Oh
and
man.
man, bro, it makes me sick to my stomach. And to
Like
know,
not
bro,
even as being
and it
before
happened
I
in
had kids.
California.
Yeah, if that happened to someone I knew's kids or anything like that,
I
I'm
know,
doing that. You know what I'm
bro. I
saying?
know.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
disgusting, insane.
And now
Yeah,
they're
I
talking about
can't.
it's like 20, 25 years in prison, bro.
And
Like,
I'm sure he'd happily do it. But if you're a fucking judge,
if he
if
killed
you're
the
a
guy,
jury, how do you convict something like that?
well, I saw the judge
How?
wite something like this is like it. I saw some judge put out a statement saying this is why you don't try to take the law into your own hands. Like, and that made me
Why?
mad. Well, in California, what you have to, because the guy gets let out after 3
Yeah,
days of
to
molesting a kid
go
a
to
hundred
go live
times,
at his.
to go back
I mean,
there
come
so
on.
some other kids could get molested. Like, if the law is not working and it happens to you, what are you going to do about it?
It doesn't matter just because what the
He
guy
need
says sorry and he's out
that
of
dude
jail
needs to
now.
be with
It's
his family.
over.
Like, this
No.
is Cain Velasquez, bro. He's like just he's probably my favorite fighter of all time. All due respect to Stipe Miocic, because we became close friends and Stipe is super competitive. But Cain Velasquez, like, watching him, he was inspiring for me because he was just a workaholic and he would just break these bigger, stronger, better athlete guys, and became a multiple time world champion doing it. And everyone in the room, anybody who ever seen him in the room, they would like blown away. He would outwork everybody, all the smaller guys, out sprint everybody. And I seen a quote from somebody in AK saying that out of all the years Cain has been in that gym. Not one tantrum, not one anger,
not that
angry
guy at all,
moment.
man. Nope.
Like, he's not a guy who he could hold his emotions in like really well.
Dude,
I've had
lived with
plenty of
them.
tantrums in the room. You know what I mean? Like,
when I did the Ultimate Fighter show, the show I was just talking about with Stipe, Stipe,
that's right.
He was on Cormier's coaching staff, so we were close for 2-3 months, whatever it was. And dude, the guy was the biggest gentleman. Honestly, I love the guy to death. So I actually got to know someone. And when someone told me, sent me that text, they didn't have any information. Cain Velasquez arrested for attempted murder. Everyone went, I'm guaranteeing you this. Cain was one of the best guys I've ever met. Super good dude, down to earth, family guy, best freaking guy I know. There's got to be more to this story. There has to be. It's not just he went and, all right, I need, go shoot a guy. He's not that guy. He is not the furthest thing from that guy. I knew there had to be more. And once I heard this, it made a lot of sense. Really
he retired.
He is such a good dude, man. Yeah,
like,
I'm telling you. Cain is the man. He didn't come out one night when we were in Vegas. You know how I like the party. I'm trying to drag him with me. He didn't want, but he would hang out with best freaking. We'd have some drinks at the house. He was the coolest guy, man. I freaking love Cain, dude. He really is. As good of a fighter as he's a better dude, man. Seriously, he really is. And
that's what everybody says.
Horrible thing to see, man. I'm telling you, I met him close up. I can speak from personal experience about this guy. He's an awesome, awesome dude. He really is. And I've been. You can ask Katie, man. It's been really messing me up with
me too.
What's been going on in the news and stuff. And how people are trying to, I know the illegal people will tell me how it was the wrong thing to do. Man, I just don't know how that you're a parent that you could say that's the wrong thing to do.
No, I think if you're a parent and you put yourself in his shoes and you're being honest, I don't care, what, background you have. You can't say you wouldn't have tried to do the same thing.
A million times out of a million times I'm doing
Maybe
that.
You think you would have been more calculated and all these different things.
I don't know. I don't think I'd be calculated either. I don't think I'd be try to think it out and be like, all right, this is how. No, I'm hitting the rage button, bro. I mean, I don't know if he sat through court when this was going on. Like, it's not making it past that. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, there's no bailiff stopping me. It's not happening.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, man. This
screws
awesome.
me up, man. Do you edit this thing? All right. How
it's
do
gonna be edited and stuff like that for sure. But why?
I miss you, man.
I miss you too, buddy. Love you, man. I gotta go pick up Mason from the groomer and bring Colton and them to practice.
What do you just shave him?
Huh?
No, shave him?
No, they just brush him out and stuff. I don't know.
All right. Are you coming up here this summer or I'm coming down there?
Bro, you were supposed to come out. We were supposed to go on vacation together.
In April for Easter? That thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not even another month left. I'm almost done.
All right, buddy. It was good
Miss
talking
you.
to you. Thanks for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please let us know in the comments below. Won't Back Down is also available as a podcast, so feel free to give us a follow wherever you get your podcasts.